Childhood is meant to be one of the happiest and most carefree periods of one's life. Unfortunately, that is not the reality for a lot of children. An estimated number of 168 million children around the world are engaged in child labor. The International Labour Organization, ILO, defines child labor as work that is mentally, physically, socially, or morally dangerous and harmful to children, and interferes with their schooling by depriving them of the opportunity to attend school, obliging them to leave school prematurely, or requiring them to attempt to combine school attendance with excessively long and heavy work. In accordance with ILO conventions, children shall not be engaged in labor if they are under the age of completion of compulsory schooling, and in any case not under the age of 15. Child labor is not just a scourge in other parts of the world, it is a harsh reality happening right here in Zambia. 1 in every 5 children in Zambia is economically active, of which 895,000 children are involved in hazardous child labor. With poverty levels standing at 60% of the total population, many parents and guardians are failing to adequately provide basic needs for their children. As a consequence, children are forced to engage in economic activities in order to earn a living. Zambia's adult HIV and AIDS prevalence rate is 16%. The demise of parents and breadwinners leaves children orphaned with no one to depend on. The education system in Zambia is faced with many challenges. Most schools in rural areas, where 92% of children are into child labor, do not have the required number of teachers and have inadequate and dilapidated school infrastructures. The government of the Republic of Zambia is firmly committed to the promotion, protection, and realization of the rights of each and every Zambian child by working through the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and other line ministries responsible for the welfare of children. Protecting children is one of the essential elements in the pursuit of social justice, economic development, and universal peace.
As a Ministry of Labour, I think we have a number of activities that we conduct in terms of trying to fight child labour. We have what we call district child labour committees that are currently in 22 districts. Apart from that, of course, we have legislation to start with, the Employment of Young Persons and Children's Act. That's the enabling act when it comes to the fight against child labour. We have the statutory instrument on hazardous work. That is also one of the pieces of legislation that looks at what hazardous work is. As you are aware that when you talk about child labor, it's not everything that a child should not do. Many a time you find that those children who are always found, working, doing the kinds of work that are not healthy to their well-being. They find themselves not doing well at school. So this is the act that tries to look at the kind of work that the children should not be involved in.
Child labor in Zambia is quite bad. And we need a lot of collective efforts to ensure that we create a Zambian society free from all forms of child labor. We need all people, the parents, to get on board, and the children themselves. We need the business establishments to get on board. Politicians also should take a center stage in ensuring that they include the child labor issues, in their activities, and the media should come in to give a lot of reporting on child labor, not only when there is a case, maybe a child is being defiled, that's when they come in, or maybe a child has been murdered as a result of child labor activities, but they should come on board even before those situations come.
Nashukuru. Bagulisa fikolo.
So vipyango vakapanga vamakumasomainogulisa
Terendo gulisa manjeza nokamba atitireke tambugulisa komagwa.
manzainogulisa vakabatile
twakatilipirire mu ndrama za skulu.
Pesa mandama ya skulu. So ndrama bani pesa za skulu bezo kulipiria kusukulu mambo yenda.
Naboka mati tizisumya sikandukula katilipirire tonsi babiri titikambo kunzi.
So zinakula mambo yenda kusukulu. So nanga mami na wadadi wanaenda kutu.
Amami balipo adati wankala ku mapero.
So akala pamoja. So kulisa mazawenda ukaji kulisa.
Tujamba ku ma 6 tukasiriza tukagwera kuta ku ma 16.
So mkakwera kwa 16 minafesha.
Tukagwera nchini katipasa nsina kampala kafipa sucheta go.
So nishi mweza kudia kangati pasiku.
Tukajia kuseni na mzuma siku kulibekunzi.
So gabaza kuchani manzako wajana baniswa ina kusukulu wajwa kulisa kwa sewe.
Ngafune na bebe balikugulisa za makolo wao kutwa bayambise ku sukulu.
So hiyo ufuna wakakula wakakale chani nanji.
Dokta
Wakakale dokta kutuzichina kwaji.
kasitanizira ko bantu edwala.
So mtandizira wantu nawe sufuna kupatanisa kwa wamini wafutika wakakulisa this time.
Ngafune nani na watamiza.
So zama wauza kibaki kakumana nao.
Kazi timu wauzi makolo banu bakuleseni gulisa kwambiseni ndra school fees. Kwenye school fees mu school.
So nanga bantu bose makolo kuli makolo wajana wauza wana wao kutazini kulisa wauza chani makolo.
Ngawuzerekana kuza abana bantu twakazenda ogulisa bamiseni sikulu ndasikiwa twakazinkala mukombo.
Nanga matichasi wamene wakujandizira pa sukulu panoni ukawauza chani wewe.
Mnifungo batasha chifukana nikuwazisa kuti nkasitaniza kubanzanga naye.
The ethical performance of companies is under increasing scrutiny from customers, the media, investors, and other stakeholders. Revelations of child labor in the supply chain can damage a company's reputation and lead to a loss of revenue. Conversely, a child labor-free supply chain can help protect a company's reputation and ensure an educated and capable workforce for the long term. One organization that is working hard towards eliminating child labor in its supply chain is Japan Tobacco International, JTI. JTI takes the issue of child labor very seriously and contributes to eradicating child labor in tobacco farming, both through its own initiatives and in collaboration with other organizations. JTI's flagship program aimed at eliminating child labor in tobacco farming is Arise, which was developed in 2011 and launched in early 2012. The goals of this program are to remove children from child labor, promote access to quality education for these children, and, importantly, to create sustainable alternatives for farmers so that they no longer need to employ children. Since 2014, JTI's Arise program in Zambia has achieved the following positive results: 1,817 children off farms and into schools, 10,449 community members and teachers educated about child labor, 7 governmental policies and plans developed with JTI's input. This year, we join millions of people around the world to celebrate the World Day Against Child Labor under the theme Ending Child Labor in Supply Chains. Ending child labor is everybody's business, and you can play a role by starting with your organization. Open your eyes to the plight of millions of children around the world. Join the fight to end child labor.